and his mob ties. At one time, the Pope was even outed in the press for such ties, including having the same lawyer as top mob bosses like the Teflon Don John Gotti. The Italian mob is most known because of the media and movies, but in places like Detroit and Chicago, the power and influence of the Jewish mob could not be ignored. Armed with the ancient knowledge of the Kabbalah and stolen secrets of Solomon, taken from the original Israelites of the Bible, the Jewish gangsters and rabbis played yet another key part in the race game. Gain the trust of, befriend, and even philanthropize the cause of the people whose birthright you claim. Promote their interests and identify with them just enough to share their status as minority, while eclipsing their devastating Holocaust story with repeated tales of your own. Certain industries that relied upon magic would be placed in the care of those whose grasp of the ancient arts of Solomon, used to commune with spirits of fallen angels, was most skilled. The rabbis who studied and altered the teachings and writings of the prophets were skillful at the magic gained from the Kabbalah and the keys of Solomon. This magic passed from Babylon through the ages and is found in the tales of the magic of Merlin. Merlin was said to be a magician from the order of the Templars, who were known for their pursuit of Solomon's secrets and temple. Merlin is said to have used a wand in his magic works, which is said to have been made of holy wood. This is where you get the word Hollywood. People born under Jewish distinction and Zionist powerhouse Jews are as different as hood thugs and boule bosses. But this is why it is said that the mob does indeed run music and that the Jews run Hollywood. A Jewish neighborhood gradually turned black in northwest Detroit. The Bagley-Mumford community is a collection of blacks encompassing approximately from McNichols northward to Outer Drive and from Livernois westward to James Cousins. This neighborhood boasted residents like Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, members of the Four Tops, Matty Moss Clark, plus countless other members of bands and groups. This neighborhood boasts the high school featured as Axel Foley's alma mater, Mumford High. This is the high school of star Hollywood producer Jerry Bruckheimer, and some of the members of Detroit's rap elite like D12 and Slum Village went to this high school, as did the Clark sisters and the Winans at the same time. And as many Detroit public schools face an uncompromising axe, Detroit Mumford, an urban pioneering experiment college prep high school, is being rebuilt, slated for completion by summer 2012. This is not the only example, but indeed one definite case of how energy, association, and spirit realm work together, conspire, if you will, in ways that produce results which transcend reasonable belief and incidental coincidences. Certain areas produce, draw upon, and conduct spiritual energy. Motown is one such place. These were good brothers. Some were friends, colleagues, and associates within the intimate, relatively small Detroit rap community. But as the Master Yahshua said, there is no greater love a man can give than to lay down his life for his friends. So we will boldly go forth in both truth and love. The 18th demon of theurging magic, taken from one of the Bibles of demon conjuring, the Key of Solomon, is called Bathin, pronounced Batin. It is the name of one of the demons one can conjure by way of Solomon's teaching. The name Titus was one of the biblical writers who was of the way of the prophets of Yah. The Order of Divine Reality is a secret society that can boast to have produced some of Detroit's most well-known hip-hop luminaries. Brother Batin was a member. So was Jay Dilla. So was Proof, who schooled him in different things. He was a member of this order. And prior to his passing, Proof relayed a story to some of the brothers about a 13th floor ritual conducted over the Devil's Night Master. He stated that he left and subsequently missed the session that followed, resulting in the one song he was not on. The Black Mystic Order's teachings are similar to those found among the Nuwabic Nation, a group headed by CIA mind control handler, one of the highest ranking black Masons in America, a member of the Temple of Set. Set is where we get Satan, and some say the Egyptian devil, and a former music business songwriter and singer, Dwight York, aka Dr. Malachi Z. York. He and its leader are both contemporaries and associates. Their jobs as highly skilled warlocks and mind controllers are very important among the black illuminated elite. They are to represent and collect the elite among black thinkers and spiritualists. mystics. The same goal that all other secret orders have can be found even among these fringe groups. They are to carry on the great work of the ages. However, their specialty is the capture and control of the black community's most abstract thinkers and mystic-minded visionaries. I was invited by a brother to come down and be an extra on the set of a straight-to-video movie. A brother was producing a movie about rap artists starting as friends and then eventually being tempted by the devil to murder one another as a sacrifice for success. The movie was called The Devil Made Me Do It, and upon inquiring on the set, I found out it was Proof's idea. He was there on the set for several scenes. However, he was shot dead before he could complete it. The shooter is said to have been ex-military. The connections are there. Secret society's big secret is being revealed in this, the information age. Secrets of the ages hidden by the peons of royalty for thousands of years are being uncovered and discovered by teenagers with pocket computers, curious about whether or not Jay-Z and Beyonce are in the Illuminati. Questions are being answered that 10 years ago we didn't even know to ask. The spell of Lucifer is being broken. The enchantment of his music no longer has the power it once did, as this generation's youth proves to be faster, stronger, and more adaptable than any in history. This is why Lucifer is so much more blatant in his occult signs, symbols, and productions today. Those who do his bidding are quaking with fear over some impending metamorphosis they expect to take place as necessity dictates. Humans will awaken dormant power and latent ability when their lives are at stake. You've heard of how mothers gain unexplainable strength enough to lift an automobile off of its wheels to free a trapped child. Imagine that level of intense necessity multiplied infinitely as the reality of Lucifer's grip tightens around society and more of the masses awaken to his faking. One of his last strongholds has collapsed as music has come under a scrutiny never before seen in the history of man. Music has been revealed as a force just as the music industry will be exposed for what it truly is. A government-sanctioned mind control program created by the CIA under MK-Ultra. MK-Ultra salvaged Nazi scientists and squoze every drop of their occult scientific knowledge out into programs like NASA, Project Umbrella, and Project Janice, the secret to the enigma of the music biz and its supernatural nature, its demonic nature. When talking to Piers Morgan regarding Whitney's death, Shaka flatly stated, having clearly had enough, the music business is demonic. So you will decide for yourself if it is, as we boldly go where few who explore these subjects dare to venture. Not into the homoerotic codeine-coded world of Lil Wayne, nor into the neo-Masonic ramblings of a professional peon for power Jay-Z, or the hypno-erotic, voodoo, Shango-influenced wailing of the siren Rihanna. Oh no, we will prove that the devil is in fact smooth, subtle, cunning, seductive, and sedative. Unable to kill all things with the same poison, he saves his best melodic spells for those unaffected by the over-the-top obvious wickedness of satanic heavy metal. For example, alcohol, called intoxicants and spirits, is used of the devil to kill, steal, and destroy all. Yet you still find a different potion of brew aimed at an ethnic group so directly that when you look, you will only find it in neighborhoods with certain demographics, malt liquor. For more on that, see the book Message in the Bottle. So the evidence is there of different caliber weapons being used for a different caliber of enemy. So when it comes to music as a weapon, the manipulation of frequency in order to affect behavior without consent must be examined more closely in regards to classic black music. R&B music, we are told, is derived from the rhythm and blues, a colloquialism used to describe sadness or depression. Music theory will tell you it is the blues, whose chords are used to build all other forms of American music, a product of the wailing of slaves' hymns. This sadness carries on throughout our music and is defined as mellow or smooth, groovy, truly sedative and hypnotic. The ancient practice of manipulating sound to entice one into a mood, a form of mesmerism and enchantment. It keeps you from being able to focus on the lyrics, which are often being delivered in such a way that it makes it even harder to tell what is exactly being said anyway. But this state of hypnosis, or partial unknowing, or confusion, is a key part of creating duality in the minds of both the performer and the audience. The person listening or watching takes the dual meanings of the song into the brain, one into the conscious mind and the other into the subconscious. The conscious mind believes whatever you want it to. The subconscious mind, however, sees the reality of what is there and feels the intention of a thing, producing diverse neurological responses throughout the body and mind. These impulses cause changes in behavior, thought, and personality. This is half of the goal of Project Janice. Once a personality becomes tapped for division, the other half is to now cause that new personality to itself become heavily possessed. The warlock scientists of Project Janice incorporated occult practices into their day jobs, as do most devout Luciferians, those who view Lucifer as God. The goal, as was demonstrated by the reported work of Hitler's specialized top Nazi scientists, the shared goal of Adolf Hitler, his scientists, and now obviously the CIA, was to create a mind-controlled robotic soldier. Hollowed out like a shell, devoid of all traces of who they really are, the mind-control experiment victim is then filled up by ritual with a demonic entity, fallen one, or disembodied spirit. The possessed side of the Janice, or genus, Jinn, dominates the whole person in time. So with some background info provided for your trip, we enter the mind control program, Project Janice, as we explore our favorite R&B jams, and I do mean the jams, and dig into a phenomenon well documented by rock and roll fans and conspiracy theorists alike, witch language. We will apply its principles to some of the best of R&B, rhythm and blues, that old music, soul music. You see, witch language is but a loose term used to describe the songwriter's spell. The so-called spell is achieved by way of the listener's assumptions. The assumption is that the song is about a man, or about a woman, or about love. All are illusions cleverly cast by the songwriter in order to keep the great Luciferian secret a secret. Songs are designed in reference and reverence to the spirit realm and the one which they believe in. Some become anointed by their new angelic addiction and sing in awe of its power and ability. Some become annoyed by the constant conditions, contradictions, and controls that come along with this new religion, one that they were promised would set them free. And some songwriters feed Lucifer their energy of regret, sorrow, and pain, because this is indeed his pleasure principle, for he is the principle of pleasure. So let's prepare to go back to school, sit back, relax, and focus your third eye. Remain open-minded to the possibilities that life is much deeper than we are all conditioned to normally see. Assume for a minute that the unity of the elite is based upon this secret spirit worship that they share. Imagine that the business of music that we grew up on and assumed was all about talent and its exposure is in reality another vehicle used by our hidden rulers and their court magicians in order to skew our views about men, women, love, life, and God. We now start off our journey with two of R&B's most successful songwriting stars, Ashford and Simpson, who had their start on the notorious Scepter and Wand label, as did the Whispers and Tammy Terrell, who will all be touched upon in this piece. This is It Seems to Hang On, and without any preconceived idea of what the song means or what people say it means, use your logical mind and you will break the spell as you listen carefully. You will discover what the it they're referring to really is. Now, people, don't get angry with me. Now, let's just back it up a little bit. This just so happened to be the first song I realized this dual meaning phenomenon in. I wasn't listening to it for that reason. I was jamming. But once the light of the Lord is on you, all things done in the darkness seem to come to light with little or no prompting. I couldn't deny the direct biblical reference as they call out to Jesus, using his terminology, loose me. The way of these secret practices involves secrecy and deception, hence the planting of the question, is it love at the end? More Project Janice duality. They mean the reverse of the word love, both phonetically and philosophically. E-V-O-L, evil. Love of the material world, which is why our poor brothers and sisters often leave the church, leave gospel, as did Ashford and Simpson, who joined Motown in 1966, the Occult year one, in search of what is seen to be a better life in this world. Some say this is what a fool believes, that Lucifer is God and will one day return from Eve's past and take his place in her life as king, ruling even over her not yet created children. Enter master songwriter, lyricist, Grammy award-winning blue-eyed soul wizard of crossover, Michael McDonald. He sings of the devil's deception and conception with Eve, another secret kept among students of the occult. Check out the life of Adam and Eve as told in the Apocrypha, or lost books of the Bible. And check out this Doobie Brothers joint.
Never coming
He shows and proves his creativity by developing song lyrics that sound like a catchy little love ditty until the top layer, like an onion, is removed, revealing yet more skin, and rotting deeper beneath is a meaning pertaining to the Lucifer worship and spiritual worship of his chosen profession's religion. Remember, this religion goes back to Babylon with the worship of the sex magic goddess queen Semiramis, the queen of the night, the model for the Statue of Liberty, in truth. It is another clever disguise for Lucifer worship, for it is this belief system that offers you freedom, sweet freedom. Groups like his, Hall & Oates, Culture Club, and others were used to help carry over these teachings into an exploding black music scene. This integration resulted in total domination as satanic music practices began crossing over by way of video and radio. The new age of new wave, like Cameo, Prince, and Andre Simone, were products of this fusion and its new musical freedoms, but we'll go back to them. For now, let's zero in on the lyrics and video for another new wave group. This is The System with You Are In My System. And remember, let's not jump to the conclusion that the you refers to some girl. Did you dig the devil horn shoes? Or how about the throwing up of the 666, known to the uninitiated as the OK sign, every time he speaks of the one whose system he is in? The duality symbolism is achieved with the mirror shots. Also, the strategic uses of black and white, symbolic of mind altering or mind control, and the red on the woman. She is only a distraction and a representation of the woman in red, the queen of Babylon as a devil. Think the Matrix. Let's not forget the outer space and spaceship imagery. Lucifer's worshippers are indeed spaced out and mind-controlled. They are also enthralled by a being who fell from the heavens, from the sky. Lucifer was not from planet Earth. Another disguise of Lucifer is as an alien because of this. See, just as Queen Semiramis came out of a space egg, Lucifer came down also from so-called outer space, the heavens. Some find creative ways to use the witch language to disguise and romanticize this Luciferian point of view. And Lucifer will indeed give you a star, If you do a great job, yours will be counted among the classics like You Are My Starship, Norman Connors.
You are my life. I have to go. Have me any way you want to. Just take care and love me till my tension's gone. 'Cause you are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. Yes, you are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. And don't you come too soon. Baby, yeah. You are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. Yes, you are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. And don't you come too soon. I can't say it's here that you wanna be. Yeah, I just can't say, baby. I don't want nobody kissing you but me. Can't say, oh baby, I just can't say, 'cause you are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. Yes, you are my starship. Come take me up tonight and don't be late. And don't you come too soon. Baby, oh yeah, take me up tonight and don't be late. Oh, you are my starship. Won't you take me tonight and don't be late. And don't you come too soon.
Yet some find disappointment and intuitively know something is wrong with this ancient system, hidden by the deceptive beauty of a Babylonian queen, like the lyrics to Rocket Love, Stevie